What's happening, everyone? This is Dinx from the GamerNerdz. I'm proud to present a very special episode of Bonus Level. We're on scene at Montreal Annual Tournament 9. This is an official Road To EVO tournament. If you love fighting games like me, you definitely want to check this out. King of Fighters, we got Skullgirls, we got Soul Calibur 5, we got Street Fighter Arcade Edition, and my personal favorite, Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3. We got Dieminion and Wolfkrone on the spot. We have Snafoo and Chi-Rithy repping Canada in the fighting game community. Expect a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. We're going to interview the players, the founders, and see how the fighting game community in Montreal is shaping up. So that's what we have to look forward to at Montreal Annual Tournament 9. Let's check it out. I got Dieminion here. He's obviously one of the notable US players. Dieminion, I have a couple questions for you. So first of all, welcome to Montreal. I know you're a regular here. You've come to a lot of Canadian tournaments like Tourouken, Canada Cup, and all that. Do you find the Canadian community is respected versus the US? Are we working our way up there?
I think that the Canadian fighting game community quickly rising to become, more known and more respected. The past few tournaments I've been to, I've seen like the leveling up, and I've seen the progress. I think it's still frowned upon by Americans because it's still not on that level yet. Just yet, there's still those few top players that outshine the rest of those players. But I think as a whole, the majority of the average players are slowly rising up also.
So that's a shout out to Chi-Rithy, who did really good at Tourouken. Your thoughts on Ultimate vs. Capcom? The Morrigan type of play you have, the Bullet Storm, is kind of frowned upon. Now, do you think it's a legitimate way to play the game? I know you and Christy have very similar play styles. A lot of the West Coast players say that it's cheap, but it gets the job done for you. What do you think about that?
I think that the Morrigan style of play is a very legit tactic to use, because in a game like Marvel vs. Capcom, you have stuff like one-touch kills. Who really wants to lose a character in one touch, right? So if you want that touch, you have to get in. If you don't get in, you're not going to get it. You can't get mad at me for trying to keep you away the whole match if you're going to one-touch kill me. I think Morrigan is a very strong character. I think she's still not as mastered to be a really dominant character. The more people plays Morrigan, the more people realize that she's a good character.
You heard it from the master himself. Morrigan still got a way to go. Very scary thought. The Montreal scene has been growing a lot. This is the 9th Montreal Annual Tournament. What are your thoughts on the venue, the people, the players? Are you excited? Do you think you're going to run over everybody? Are you going to have some legitimate competition?
I think this tournament is going to be really good. The last one was good also. It wasn't in this venue, but I like this venue a lot because it's cozy. It's like a nice, little den where people can just chill and relax and stuff like that. Pretty much, I came here for one person. That is Chi-Rithy. Shout out to Chi-Rithy. I'm gonna get my revenge on him this weekend, so
expect a salty run back because Chi-Rithy and Dieminion have a little unfinished business at a Tourouken. I know you're gonna beat EVO. I want you to give me your thoughts. Are you gonna win it all? What games are you playing? And are we gonna see your Morrigan and Beautiful Joe team when you're up there on the big screen?
Right now, I'm practicing more teams than Marvel. I don't think my team per se is that strong, but it's the team I'm most familiar with, so I'll probably get the best results anyway. So I might just play that team throughout EVO. Win or lose, As far as Street Fighter goes, it's going to be tough because there's a lot of international players coming. I have a pretty good record against international players, but they're still strong nonetheless. And there's going to be a lot of them from Europe, from Japan, so from Canada. It's going to be tough for everybody, not just me. Everybody. Everybody has a good chance to win. All the top players. Just play solid, you have a good chance to win.
I have a very well-known player. I got Mad Catz Wolfkrone on the spot. I want to ask you specifically about your experience at Tourouken. Chi-Rithy took it to you. Are you surprised by that? Is the Canadian scene on the come up? Or are we behind the US in terms of capability and strength, basically?
I think there's a few players that'll do good in America. Like you said, Chi-Rithy, probably JS Master, Air, and Snafoo. Those are the best players I've seen so far here. As far as the overall scene, doesn't seem that good. Besides those few players that stand out, I think the Canadian scene has a little ways to go.
Your demeanor, you're very calm, you're very quiet. In fact, this is the most animated I've ever seen you. So is that part of the focus you have?
That's a tough question. When you get into, a certain mood, it's hard to stay concentrated. I try hard to stay concentrated on the match. Keep my mind on that. Sometimes I can get off track, but the majority of the time I just try to stay focused on the match.
Obviously, for EVO, you're one of the favorites. Your Viper is ridiculous. It's scary. Are you going to take it all? What are your thoughts on EVO coming up next month?
I plan on doing pretty good. I plan on getting it top 8 again, if not winning it. Try really hard, but I think I can do it this year.
I'm about to play some of the tournament founders. I probably will get my butt kicked. I want to do a little shout out to two brothers actually out of Las Vegas. The Hover Brothers, creators of the Hitbox. This is a stickless joystick replaced by 4 buttons. Much more precise. It's how I prefer to play. Will it make a difference against players like Dieminion and Cranky Monkey? Probably not. I got MTLSF Snafoo Congratulations on being officially signed as one of the first players to the MTLSF brand. You guys did really well at Toruken. You're going to be at EVO. The community basically says you're the best Dhalsim player in North America. What are your thoughts on that?
Kind of hard to say because I know there's other few Dhalsim players. I could say around top 3 Dhalsim players because Dhalsim players are really not played character. So it's really rare to see a good Dhalsim. And even just in general, see a Dhalsim play in a tournament.
Wolfkrone said specifically that the Canadian fighting game scene has a ways to go before it reaches on the level of the US. What are your thoughts on that? Is the scene way behind? Are we catching up?
States is a lot bigger than Canada. Just if I in Cali, they're like, what, 32 million? People who really play Street Fighter, it's either Toronto, Montreal, and all the rest is West Coast. Right now, the problem in Montreal is the community is really small, but it has a breeding of really good players in general. Montreal historically has won majors in the States. So especially New York, they know what's up with us. It's just the fact that we're not really mediatized as a fighting game community. All you see all the time in the news is always the States, the States. They have such a big pool of players, they can be really good really quickly. There's so many tournaments in the States compared to Canada itself. In Canada in the East, there's only 2. There's Hurricane and M.A.T. That's it. That's why when we won, people were like, wow, you know, like Canadians beating not only the top, the very best of Street Fighter. So I think, honestly, the United States are sleeping on us, especially Montreal.
You guys did beat the best of the best in the US. You're prep for EVO. It's a much larger scene. You're fighting US players, international players. Are you more intimidated, or is it just another tournament, another day?
Actually, at EVO, I think it's kind of an advantage that we're unknown, because then you come in, you play. So when we win, and we're not mediatized, they're like, oh, who's this new guy?
So where do you think you're going to end up in EVO in Street Fighter 4 AE?
I'd be really happy this year, top 64. It's a tough place, but I think I could do it.
Very well known MTLSF Chi-Rithy. Congratulations on the official sponsorship. You and Snafoo did really big things at Toruken. What does it feel like being the unknown Canadian player that took out Justin Wong, that took out Wolfkrone, took out Dieminion?
Honestly, a lot of good players know me. To the casual crowd, like to the new generation, I'm not that well known, but like all the good players already know me. So how it really feels to me was long overdue for me to win. Honestly,
the Canadian fighting game community, it's not as well known. Snafoo specifically said there's not as much exposure for us. And I asked Wolfkrone today, he said Canadian community specifically has a long way to go. What are your thoughts on that?
We need results for sure. I mean, like I said, all the good players know us, but that's not enough. We need like everyone to know us. If we do well, we have like some spark at least. So we're gonna try our hardest to perform well and prove that we are consistent.
What are your thoughts, and how do you think you'll end up at EVO?
I'm gonna try my hardest at EVO. So I think I have a pretty good chance. I just try to play consistently.
Very special guest with me right here. I got Rami from GutsyGeek.com, who's also a fellow sponsor of this Road to EVO tournament. So Rami, also known as Potato Brain, why don't you tell us what GutsyGeek.com is?
GutsyGeek.com is basically a blog I run. The purpose of the blog is to teach geeks to get guts, save the princess, win at real life. Basically means to get out of the house, meet girls, be more manly, more alpha, have more of a social life while still retaining the essence of what makes us awesome, which is that we love to play fighting games and other games, right? I love this place. Foonzo's is a great venue, and I love the MTLSF crew. And I feel like every year M.A.T gets bigger and bigger. This year I was in a position where I was able to donate through my website. Hopefully this will encourage more sponsors to participate, because it's a win-win, right? I give them exposure and I give them some money, they give me exposure, and I get to have fun at a tournament for 2 days. I mean, what's better than that?
Day 2 of Montreal Annual Tournament 9. I have a very special guest with me right here today. I have Mr. Dangeresque, who did very well in Ultimate Marvel yesterday. Congratulations on that. You come from a smaller scene in London, Ontario. Do the Canadian players, do they need to do a lot of work to get up there, to be on par with international guys, or are we there already? They just don't realize it? What do you think?
There's always pop monsters, no matter where you go, And so, like, when they come to Canada, they play the first 2 rounds, they think it's pretty free. But I think when they get to the finals, they fight a guy like Chi-Rithy, the RDK. I think those names really make us look like we got something going. I think the scenes need more players that travel. Traveling is what it's all about, because when you stay at home, you can't test it out. There's holes in your games you're not going to find. Montreal, I mean, you got to come to Montreal, guys.
If you guys have been watching the stream, I have a very special guest with me right here. RXX from Toronto Top Series, repping Montreal Annual Tournament. What's the fighting scene like up here from a commentator's perspective? What do you think?
Well, it's very different because we live in a different environment. Canada's very spread out. Especially in terms of commentary, what I strive to show on the stream is that we're as good as the Americans, but we're different. James Chen, Ultra David, They provide a lot of good information, but they're not exactly the most entertaining sometimes. You know, and I love those two guys. They're great. They do a great job. Very professional, very knowledgeable. But it's finding a healthy mix between entertaining and knowledge and being informative. And that's really the key, right? What I like to do here is, you know, I like to bring one guy in for color and one guy in for knowledge, and that's how we run our commentary here in Canada.
If you've been following M.A.T. you gotta owe everything to this guy right here. He is the founder and he is the tournament organizer. I got Pierre from MTLSF. First thing, congratulations on signing Snafoo and Chi-Rithy. It's been an incredible tournament. How do you think the tournament went so far?
Oh, yesterday was hectic, crazy. We ran the brackets for Street Fighter in 4 pools. It went really well. First time we actually used pools. Then Marvel was one big pool because they weren't exact number. It went pretty well. We finished before midnight actually, which never happens. Then we had SF Cross Tekken ran after midnight off stream. And yeah, that was the boarding part of the night. Today, Skullgirls started early in the morning. That was won also by someone from Montreal. Kazuhiro. And then we started Street Fighter finals. It was crazy, and it was a repeat of Toronto again, and Montreal came out on top, first and fourth. Americans, Dieminion second, Wolfkrone third. So it was really hype and lots of adrenaline rush.
Congratulations to MTLSF Chi-Rithy, a repeat of Tourouken, repping Montreal. MTLSF, now you guys, you've done it twice, Tourouken and M.A.T. We're going to expect big things at EVO. Pierre, I want to congratulate you on the success on this weekend. Thank you again for letting the GamerNerdz cover the event. It's been a hype weekend, lots of great action, lots of big upsets, lots of great fights. I want to thank MTLSF, Foonzo, I want to thank Toronto Top Tiers, all the players, the fans and the like, the stream monsters. Make sure you check us out on TheGamerNerdz.com. It's hype, MTLSF, we out.